Two vets, one mission. Smoke cigars and tell it like it is. No fluff, no filters, just raw, unfiltered cigar talk with a side of war stories and wisdom. This is the Smoked Debrief. Light up, lock in, and let's get to it.
I'm Jim,
I'm Hollywood.
and this is
The Smokers.
the Smoked Debrief.
We've tried to review this cigar now 3 times. This will be our 4th attempt. And as you can see, Jim's already lit his cigar. The past 2 times we tried to record this were a couple of weeks ago, and every time we get done, it doesn't record. And I'm thinking it's because this is a top secret redacted cigar from Warfighter Tobacco. And there's some kind of electromagnetic pulse or something that's keeping us from...
You hear the
doing it.
drone? Holy shit, bro. You hear that drone flying over? Warfighter done sent the drones after
From
us.
accurately reviewing this cigar. This is a cigar that's only available at Warfighter Tobacco on the first day of each month. If you buy 5 other cigars, you get 1 Warfighter Redacted free. It's the only way you can get the cigar.
So how many cigars did you buy to get these? Because you've got a bunch.
This cigar originated in Redacted. The wrapper is Redacted with a binder from Redacted and a filler from Redacted. After Redacted years with the Redacted founder, Redacted started a Redacted before being arrested for Redacted. So we don't have any idea what's in this cigar, but we've enjoyed the other ones that we've smoked and not had the ability to review because, you know, my technician doesn't know what he's
Something.
doing, even though he's been
Gremlin.
involved in the stereo world for 300 years. How's that smoking, Jim?
Light that bad boy up.
What?
Oh, there went our lighter. We'll never find it now.
Never find it.
It's really good. It's just a smooth start, good smoke. We're not sponsored by Warfighter. We just happen to be smoking a few of their cigars.
Well, when every single cigar you smoke that a company makes is the bomb, I mean, you try to smoke all their cigars.
You know, I wouldn't say that all of them. That Cuban, that counterfeit.
Yeah, that wasn't a Warfighter cigar. That was a Jim Young special.
556. I've had a 556 that wasn't too great, but it might have been the company. I've enjoyed every cigar we've smoked because you enjoy it just as much as I do, and that makes a huge difference. Have you ever listened to like you've got a song that you love and you listen to it over and over again, and you get a friend in the car and you're like, man, listen to the song, and it doesn't sound the same when you're listening to it with your friend in the car
because they don't appreciate it.
yeah, your friend's like, are you gay? Because you listen to like, isn't this Manhattan Transfer?
Manhattan Transfer.
I'm like, no, it's the Staying Alive soundtrack. It's not gay. It's the Bee Gees.
It's the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees.
Tonight I'm going back to Massachusetts. Well, you like that's a great song.
Are you going to do Turn the Page next?
You know, Jim used to be my friend.
So tell me about your adventure in Chicago. Hollywood just got
I
back
didn't go
from
to
Chicago
I
for
went to
checkup.
Springfield,
Springfield what?
Illinois.
Same damn difference.
See my knee doctor for the final countdown.
Illinois. He went to Illinois to get a checkup.
They don't know. The doctors don't know. How you feeling? Well, here's the x-ray. It looks good. See you later. See you in a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I
Did
just
he tell you to rub cocoa butter on your scar?
No.
You need to. You rub cocoa butter on it. It won't look as horrible.
I think it's too
Unless
late.
you'll
for
smell
that.
nice.
I do know there's some toll roads in West Virginia or Virginia.
Yeah. You know what scares Carrie when she goes up there when they would go to Michigan? The haulers where they've got like 4 trailers connected and they're going around that shit like 70, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, because one of those states you can have more than 2. Most states you can only have 2. You wouldn't like Australia. Australia out there in the outback, they have road trains where there's a truck with like 5 or 6.
Yeah. That's crazy. I think I interrupted you. You were going to tell a story about toll road.
I was going to tell a story about Chillicothe.
The Cawthon.
You ever been there?
Nope. Well, I'm not going through there. My
Yeah, you ever
parents
gone
lived
through
in
there?
Ohio.
Oh, do they?
Well, I wasn't born yet, but they did live there.
That's where I spent the night, both going and coming.
Isn't that the birthplace of Randy Newman?
Short people?
Chillicothe.
The composer?
Yes, Randy Newman, you know, short people. Short people got no reason to. They got little hands and little arms and little legs that go beep, beep, beep.
You were the worst singer on the planet.
Well, yeah, really?
Are you coming with me today to help me build my podcast set, or are you going to blow me off?
I'll probably have to blow you off, bro. I got to go back to the shop. Roasted about 600 pounds of coffee this past week.
Yeah.
Now, got to get set to roast more. So I'm not complaining. It's a blessing, and I appreciate it. We're not sponsored by Salvation Coffee, but we do partake in a cup every now and then.
So you get beans. How do you pick your beans? You and Juan Valdez out there in the fields of Colombia, or where do your beans come from?
My beans come, well, most of the stuff I use is organic. I have them.
What does that mean?
It's, there's no chemicals. They don't use pesticides or anything in their fields and stuff, supposedly. I mean, who really knows? It could be all BS. Try to source a Brazil organic. That's kind of hard because Brazil that's the government of Brazil runs all that.
Oh, really?
You pretty much have to take what you get because it's all, that's their main thing. But I get a Mexican bean that comes from Veracruz, the Veracruz region of Mexico, and it's an excellent bean. And the notes, it's real chocolatey, and that's what I like. And I use that in our I have a roasting profile that makes it perfect for our cold brew. So I use that. We have a Colombian. It's not organic. Recently, with the way the prices have been, I'm having to look, it's okay. I'm going to have to compromise a little bit so we can, keep going. But normally I like to have everything.
The tariffs having an impact?
I don't,
or the threat of tariffs?
The coffee had gone up anyway, and then the tariffs did affect it a little bit. Not enough to where I'm going to say, oh my God, Trump's horrible. I understand why he's doing it. And we just had to suck it up. It just, okay. And then, when it goes from like you're buying, green coffee and in 1 month, the first of the month, it's like maybe $4 a pound. After, 2 weeks later, it's up to $5 a pound. So, in the middle of the month, sometimes I think the increases are, a little bit of price gouging from the exporter guys.
The middleman.
Yeah. So, and I would love to I'm trying to get a relationship with the farm in Veracruz and just get direct from them.
Let's go down there.
It would be a trip, wouldn't it?
Let's go visit them.
We have one of the girls that works in the bakery she's Mexican, and she just got her citizenship. So good on her. Sweet lady, sweet young lady. But I have her. She calls them and talks to them for me, and I got pricing from them and everything. But it's going to be where I'll probably have to get a truck and go down and pick it up and then drive it back. Can you imagine that?
No,
that would be an adventure.
We'd probably get robbed by banditos, bro.
This is a good smoke. I'm really enjoying this. This is for the second time.
Fourth time, actually. Is Veracruz on a main highway, or will we have to drive out in the jungle?
It is.
Are you talking out of your butt right now? Do I need to look it up?
No, I used to have it. Hey Siri, where is Veracruz, Mexico?
Why is your Siri a dude?
It's Pride Month. I'm celebrating my trans Siri.
I knew
it's on the when you look at
it's on the coast. I know.
Yeah.
Food.
Okay. Anyway, where it's at, the region. If you look at the other regions, see now I can't think of it. There's the other regions where most of the Mexican coffee is. They have more of a green apple, maybe fig tasting notes, and that one little area, that Veracruz area, they have more of a chocolatey brown sugar tasting notes. And I've tried the other coffee, and I can get it close, but that Veracruz just nails it every time. It's real easy. But I'll tell you the best bean, the best coffee, I think, is Ethiopian Sidamo, and it is organic. I use organic Sidamo.
I think we could drive straight up the Mexican interstate to Brownsville from Veracruz.
From Brownsville?
Yeah, I don't think that we'd have to.
Do you think we could go to Veracruz by plane and then rent a truck and come back? Do they have U-Haul in Mexico?
I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Surely Roger Penske's got a Ryder truck rental in Mexico.
Surely he does.
I mean, they just built all that stuff for that NASCAR race. Have you seen all the hate they're getting for having that race in Mexico? You don't watch NASCAR, do you?
No, my parents aren't related. My parents aren't related to each other.
I don't watch it as much as I used to ever because it died for me when Dale Earnhardt died.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I have been watching every once in a while. Ross Chastain won the Coca-Cola 600, and I love this guy. This is the one. He's a watermelon farmer from Florida, and his story, the reason that I follow him is because they were at was it Bristol or Martinsville, one of the short tracks, and he was behind, and he had to make up like 4 or 5 spots just to get into the championship round. And it's been a while since I watched NASCAR, so
Not
I'm
to
not
win, but just to get in.
just to get in, so he would qualify for the championship and keep racing. So there's only like I think it was the last lap, and he just nailed the throttle, shot up to the wall, and he's riding the wall all the way down on the outside, and he makes up his spots, and he gets in. And it was hilarious because when they show the clip, there's one clip where you hear all the other drivers going like, what the hell is he doing? Well, since he did that, there was nothing in the rule book that said he couldn't do it, but now there is. As soon as he did that, NASCAR said, oh yeah, we can't have that.
Why?
That's fucking racing, if you ask me.
Yeah, they really did. They changed the rules.
But it was so damn cool because they talked to him after, and he's like, I do it all the time in video games. He said, I figured I'd give it a shot. I didn't have nothing to lose, but he did. He just nailed it and passed whoever he needed to pass. He got by a bunch of them, and I think he finished like second or third. It's pretty cool.
That's crazy. It's kind of a slow, rainy day today. What it feels like,
It does.
I don't know why it feels that way.
This cigar is really good, Hollywood. But I was.
If we only knew what it was.
I'm getting
Notes
clove.
Yeah, whatever.
You don't think they put wacky backy in here, do you? It's not telling anybody, like
Seriously?
some THC. You never know. How would you know?
The Warfighter guys?
Yeah, how do you know?
I know the same way I know that you're not going to suck a dick.
Not
that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all. I wanted to register Hello Darkness
My old
as
friend.
as a trademark.
Well, for your coffee.
Yeah, we were gonna do a line that was Hello Darkness.
Wouldn't let you?
So I looked it up. The only people that had it, which surprised the shit out of me. Only one company had it trademarked, and it's a small beer brewer.
So you called them up?
No, I didn't call them up. I registered. I've gotten pretty good at filling out the trademark paperwork and all that stuff. So I got on there and I did it and did the classification for coffee, and I sent it. Well, it came back with about 2 months later, it came back with an office action, which means that the examiner said that there would be confusion between my coffee and the other guy's beer, which is just stupid. How anybody would confuse coffee and beer is beyond me. I paid an attorney who is in Chicago to respond to the office action because they can speak in the legalese and I'm not able to.
You can barely speak in English.
Ain't that the truth? So I got my notification Thursday about my response to the office action, and the examiner denied it, so that there would still be confusion. So the attorney said that I could do another office action and appeal it, which would cost quite a bit of money.
Or you could just do it, and if they come after you, then stop.
The beer company they could sue me, but they said more than likely even if you did appeal it, they're going to come back. They said you're not going to win. So I was like, okay. But their alternative that they suggested was that I let them contact the beer company.
Yeah.
And say, hey, can I use this for coffee, and get their permission so we'll coexist. And once I have it, if that company says yes, then we send that to the trademark, and then we'll get the trademark for coffee. Office Joe was just published for, I guess, somebody, they publish, people want to get trademarks, and they publish it so the public can see it. And if there's an argument, somebody can say, oh no, that's mine. And, and so it was published first of the month. And I think I'm probably going to get that one. I can't believe nobody had that one. Somebody had it for TV, and
that was us for
a movie.
You should.
Oh, that's right. There was a show called Office Joe.
Yeah, you were in it.
I was in it, and you were in it.
I wasn't really in it.
You were in it. You asked Carrie and Courtney, you were the best part of that show. Because
So you should really go after this. You should reach out to the beer company.
I've already.
Hello Darkness is a great name for a coffee.
Yeah, as soon as I got the letter from the attorney, I immediately, hey,
Where are they
let's
located?
ask them. The beer company, I don't.
Well, let's find out.
Let's see here. Pull up the T's. This is the trademark company.
I'm just gonna look up Hello Darkness beer.
You could do that too.
Hello Darkness beer. Schlafly releases new winter sampler pack. Hello Darkness.
See, there's my application.
Eponymous Brewing Company.
I've got
It's a stout American.
Extant Brewing Company in Colorado.
Taver River North Brewery.
And they're in violation because the brewery that owns the trademark is Extant Brewing in Colorado.
Here is Schlafly releases new winter sampler. Hello Darkness. Eponymous Brewing Company releases Hello Darkness. Tavor releases Hello Darkness.
Okay, you're going off now because the company that owns it is in Colorado.
The Hello Darkness mix pack includes Irish Stout, Finest British Ale, Czech Half Dark Lager, and Dark Matter.
Unless they've got permission to use it.
They don't.
But I don't understand. What I don't understand is how any educated person would think that someone would confuse beer with coffee.
I think it's just some guy in the trademark office being a jerk.
Probably some liberal dick.
You know, you are so prejudiced.
I'm not prejudiced.
And closed-minded.
That's not true.
You are.
I am not.
All liberals are not bad people.
Most of them are.
Could be a Republican up there, a conservative up there. Oh, yeah, it could be.
No, the Republicans are the ones out creating the names. The others, it's kind of like those who can do, those who can't teach.
The opinions of the members of this podcast do not necessarily represent the producers of the podcast.
Oh,
so Jim was making caricatures. I don't know what you call them. What do you call them? Caricatures of us. And Jim's character of himself looked like Aaron Rodgers.
I'll take that.
Every time Jim made a character of himself, he got younger and younger and younger.
I wasn't doing, dude. I actually asked when I was on Chat GPT last night, when I sent you that last one, I kept telling it, I am the image on the left. Hollywood is the image on the right. Make Hollywood taller than me and make his goatee a little darker. It would come back and it would make me like way taller than you and put like a black goatee on me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I finally asked ChatGPT, I said, do you hate me? And then it came back. ChatGPT said, of course not. But you must understand. And it went in to explain why I'm getting the results I'm getting, because they can't alter pixels or edit pixels and stuff. So every image will be different. Cause I was like, you can't show me the same image twice.
They can't.
They can't. That because the algorithm or whatever is always going to be altering it. It's always going to be changing.
Even though you say, leave the guy on the right alone, it's still going to do it.
And
this may have been too strong of a cigar for 7:45 in the morning.
Could be. I'm enjoying it.
I am too. It's definitely got some strength.
You know what helps? Is this?
You didn't bring me a hot chocolate?
The delicious Salvation coffee. Look at the new cups. Ribbed for my pleasure.
God.
That coffee is sex rated.
Have you ever seen the movie Two Moon Junction?
Is that the one with Sean Penn?
It's with Sean Penn.
Sean Penn in it?
No, it's got Richard
Gere.
Wow.
Must not have been a great movie.
Stop. Hang on. Richard Tyson.
No idea who. Is that the guy? Did his father have Tyson Foods, the chicken guy?
Richard Tyson is the guy from Kindergarten Cop.
And he was in My Bodyguard.
And he was
the bully. He was
in 3 O'Clock High. He was the bully in 3 O'Clock High.
Is it 3 O'Clock High or My Bodyguard?
I don't know.
Anyway, but he plays that.
He was also in
role.
Black Hawk Down. He was also in the hit movie Jake's Corner.
Never heard of it.
I produced it.
You did it.
Yeah.
I have heard of it actually, because I scoped your IMDb, your many IMDb pages.
Richard was he was a total sex symbol when he was, in his 20s and early 30s. He did all the, he was the go-to guy for those erotic thrillers for women,
Did not know.
Southern Socialite meets the landscaping guy, and
Thanks for cleaning my pool, ma'am. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I don't have any money to pay you.
No, not.
How can I make it up
not
to you?
porn, Jim. Not. Oh my God.
Oh Lord. You know,
Anyway, you can't watch it anywhere.
Two Moon Junction.
So I ordered it yesterday. It's going to be here tomorrow.
Did you order the Corbin, the one that I told you, what was that one? The Forbin Project. The one that I put it on my list, but you got to order it on Blu-ray because you can't find it anywhere streaming. So from the 70s, and it had, what's the guy? Eric
Roberts?
No, Eric.
Strada.
He played in Rat Patrol. He was the German guy, but in Rat Patrol, he used his German name. But now he was an actor on Another World for years, and he played Victor, was his character. Eric Braeden. And he's
Would you be
in
surprised to learn that I've never watched a single soap opera?
No. I used to lay out of school a lot, and that's all you had to do was, watch soap operas. But that's a great movie.
Is it as good as One-Armed Executioner?
Better.
God, I hope
so. Better. Because if you think about it, from the 70s when this thing came out, this shit could happen now. Because it's about this man creates this computer, and the computer is so smart, and it's stored in this mountain, and then it's like sealed up where nobody can get to it. They can communicate with it. Then the U.S. ends up turning all of its defense systems and everything over to the computer to control.
Like Skynet.
Yeah. This was in the 70s, though, and the shit is amazing. The forethought that they had back then was really cool. And they put they're all celebrating, and they're in the little control center, and they put the computer online. They let it go, and set it free. And within seconds, the computer comes back and said, there is another. And it's like the Russians have done the same thing. So the American computer wants to communicate with the Russian computer, and they're trying to fight him and tell him no. Well, he ends up, like, the computer says, okay, if you don't let me do this, I will launch a missile. So he keeps, he keeps doing that shit. So they talk to Russia. They let the computers talk to each other. And it's just insane. The computer keeps getting smarter and keeps getting more powerful. And they go and, like, the generals are like, okay, we have figured out a way where we can secretly replace the warheads on all the missiles. So if one is launched, it won't do any damage. So they go in. Well, the damn computer it found out, so it blows up the damn silo while they're in there doing that shit. And it's a nuclear explosion, so it takes out a whole shit ton of people. And then, like, the Russian scientists that developed the computer the Russians had, and Eric Braeden that had developed the American, they tried to meet in Italy, and they're in Italy, this little Riviera looking thing, and all of a sudden, here come these helicopters, and the helicopters come down. It's a sniper, and they shoot the Russian guy because the Russian computer was like, no, and takes them out, doesn't let them communicate. It ends up, he gets a voice. The computer tells him, I need you to create this. This will give me a voice. So he has a voice now, and it ends up, he makes the main scientist, he tells him, I want you under my surveillance 24 hours a day. And he's like, the scientist is trying to explain to him, you must understand that humans need their privacy. And he's trying to explain to the computer, and the computer's like, negative, you'll remain under my surveillance. And so it forces the scientist to live in this one little area and there's cameras everywhere. And he explains to the computer that he needs female companion, it's basic human needs. So one of his assistants that he was kind of crushing on, he says, it's her, this is my interest. So they get her in there. Well, they're in there, and he finally convinces the computer that when they're intimate, they must have privacy, that it's not something, that's not done. So the computer only gives them so many minutes, to do it. And that's when they start their plotting, doing all this stuff. It's such a cool movie. every time I watch it, it's just cool because it's so old.
How does it end?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that. Why would I do that?
I'm not going to buy the movie.
You don't have to. You could borrow it from me.
I'd have to get a DVD player.
You have to get a Blu-ray player, which are like $69. Come on. Okay, I'll tell you how it ends.
Okay.
The computer stays in charge. That was pretty much it. That was the life that they were left with. There was no happy ending.
And they lived in that
Stayed in that thing under surveillance.
You know what I watched last night?
What'd you watch?
The first 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. That, people should go double back on that and start watching The Twilight Zone.
It is good. You know, the Alfred Hitchcock hour was some great shows, and all the people that were in it. I was watching Andy Griffith the other day, and there's like one, and Bill Bixby was on there. He played a out-of-towner that came in and got in trouble.
Yes.
And he must have been like 19 years old or something. And I'm like, that's the Hulk. And it's so cool to see. You know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. does a podcast. It's really good if you ever. It's interesting to watch.
I hate podcasts.
Yeah, I do too. They suck. Who the fuck wants to do podcasts?
Exactly.
But Ron Howard helped get the Dale Earnhardt documentary that's on Amazon, and it's well worth a watch. It's great.
Senior?
Yeah. And Ron Howard was on Dale Jr.'s podcast, and they were talking about it. And I'm like, this Ron Howard has been in pictures, TV and movies and stuff.
Since he was 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah. And how he seems to be a decent human being and not jaded, like, you know,
because he's
the
been
80s,
super freaking successful.
The 80s, even, you know, well, even if they're successful, they could have been, you know, like Corey Feldman, you know,
but a later generation.
Yeah. In the 80s, the child stars from the 80s, and even like the 60s, Shirley Temple had a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't right, you know, for a child actor. But Ron Howard, and then like, he's sitting there, he's talking to Ron Howard, and Ron Howard's like, oh yeah, well, when we were, he said, I don't know if you know, he said, I did a movie, was it Eat My Dust?
Yeah.
And Dale Earnhardt's like, Junior's like, yeah, I know that movie. Like, who doesn't? It's, you know, it's a car movie. But it's crazy that, you know, and then he's like, well, when we were doing Cocoon and I was doing this, and it's like, oh my God, I forgot.
You should look at the movies he's done.
I know Apollo 13 was freaking brilliant. You know, that one, Apollo 13.
Siri, what movies has Ron Howard done? Cocoon, Willow, Backdraft, Apollo 13, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man, The Da Vinci Code, Frost Nixon, Solo.
Yeah, all of them are great movies. It's great.
What do you think the chances are that this episode's really
about 98.9%?
Would you recommend this cigar?
Yes, I would, definitely. I would definitely recommend the
Redacted
cigar.
Would you say it's a full-bodied cigar?
Well, as long as as long as they don't come out and say, "Oh, it's dog shit tobacco we use in that, you suckers." You know.
Yeah, it's not dog shit.
Definitely not. This is a good smoke.
There's definitely Nicaraguan. It's got the power.
Did you say that might be a Connecticut wrapper?
Okay. Too dark.
Well, that's racist. So what kind of projects what's the podcast about?
It's about alcohol abuse in the military.
Never heard of that one.
And how to overcome that. Because as you know, in the military, drinking is, you know.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
You go to the bar every damn night.
Yep.
And Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
And then Monday, you got the battalion run and you're puking and shitting, but you never stop. When I was stationed in Germany, we had a battalion commander who had taken a bayonet to his forearm in Vietnam. So all the meat was missing from his arm. It was just the bones and the tendons. And like, he had like a Bob Dole arm, you know, and he couldn't do push-ups or sit-ups, but he ran like hell. And every Monday morning we had a battalion run, and like, we wouldn't know what we were going to do until that morning. They would, you know, get your ruck and load the ruck up, and we'd be in our like sweats, but with a ruck on, and running through downtown Schweinfurt. And it was usually 6 to 8 miles, but even then you never knew, because whatever mood he was in. And
he was a runner.
Well, he was a runner. And there was, you know, we're all grunts. And then the mechanics, the headquarters platoon, which was mostly mechanics and
They
stuff.
had to run too?
Oh, yeah, everybody ran. Battalion run, everybody ran. Everybody ran. And
That must have
they're
sucked
all,
for some people.
the mechanics are some partying some bitches. They party like hell. And you're just, you're in there in the battalion run, you're flowing, and all of a sudden the guy in front of you just starts throwing up, and you're like, oh, you're trying to avoid it and shit. And then he's throwing up. So, that makes other people throw up. And then there's one guy shitting his pants, but nobody stops. Keep going. I threw up once because I tied one on the night before and completely forgot.
Is that the last time you did that? Last time you tied one on before battalion run?
That was the first and last time I did that. Oh my Lord, that was horrible. And it was with the ruck and our rifle. Jesus. And they had me go up, and I had to carry the guide on for the company. And we're up there, and I'm holding the guide on, and that's all I can do. I'm like, I'm going to drop this motherfucker. I'm going to drop it. So I'm turning around, and I'm like, Top, I need relief. He's like, God damn it, Young. And some of it's like, Miller, go relieve Young. So I drop back, and I start throwing up. But if I had dropped that guide on, that would have been hell.
Forever.
Alpha Company's 2nd, 30th Infantry, 3rd Infantry Division. Rock of the Marne. It was Audie Murphy's.
Audie Murphy. Yeah, the Marne, M-A-R-N-E.
They made us watch To Hell and Back when we got to Germany and went into Würzburg for processing to send us out, give us our company assignments. And while we're there, they put To Hell and Back on. You got to watch it.
Really?
Like I had seen it 100 times before. I loved Audie Murphy movies.
He played himself, right? In those movies.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Because
he was like a nobody.
Yeah.
A country kid, right?
Yeah. They had a mascot, which was a bulldog, and Walt Disney is the one who drew the bulldog for them back.
Really?
Yeah. When the unit first started, which was pretty cool.
Have you seen the new Mission Impossible?
Nope. I am going to go see F1 in IMAX on the 27th. You want to go? I'm going to the 3:30 show because I'm old fuck in Raleigh.
You're going in Raleigh?
Yeah, that's where the IMAX is at.
You have to pick me up. What day?
What was that, Thursday? Thursday? Yeah, the 27th.
We got to go out to the Jeep place.
Oh, that's right. What
a great guy. Huh?
I think you're going to be getting a Jeep.
The Jim Young experience. If you need anything, all you got to do is just whisper it, and Jim Young makes it happen. He made me buy a Range Rover. Is making me put a new stereo in the Suburban. He got me a Jeep for the legacy motorcycle ride that the American Legion riders are going to do. It's pretty amazing.
That's going to be exciting because we're going to have to. We got to give them shout outs.
Absolutely. I want to see if we can put a wrap on it.
Do you have a wrap company?
I don't. No, because my buddy Jim Young does. Jim Young has everything.
There's a few companies, TDS Designs, which are are they in High Point or Greensboro? They might be closer than that. They do wraps, but there's another company in Greensboro that does like NASCAR wraps and stuff and buses and tractors.
Well, it's got to be able to come off, at the end,
Yeah. I'll find out. There's a company here in Burlington called Bullseye. I can talk to them. They did a wrap for, there's a guy that comes into the coffee shops, works for a beer company. It's called What's on Tap. And he's got a new Bronco, and it's Army green. And he had camo flames put over the hood and on the side in a wrap. Looks freaking awesome. He's parked at the coffee shop like every day. He's always there around lunchtime. He stays for a few hours.
I want us to mount a U.S. flag and an American Legion flag on this Jeep too, Jim. So
okay, that shouldn't be too big a deal. To see if we got. Well, I've got one back here in the warehouse that I haven't opened.
I think it's not going to be a too difficult ride. I think it's like 150, 200 miles a day.
Yeah, that shouldn't be bad.
Right?
Yeah. If we had,
come on, spit it out.
Humvee, we talked about using the Humvee. I would be worried. The whole time.
It'd be hot as fuck, too.
It would. Because
we would be.
It has nothing but heat.
We'd lose 50 pounds on that ride.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it'd be a great thing for me. The Redacted, not for the weak at heart.
Gets a little bolder there at the end.
I told you it's bolden right on up. So I'm going to give the Redacted 2 thumbs up, way up.
I will give it 2 thumbs up as well.
Remember, Warfighter Tobacco, first day of every month, buy 5, get a free Redacted, the only way to get it. I'm Hollywood Hurd,
I'm Jim Young.
and this has been the Smoked
Debrief.
Debrief.